Can semaglutide actually help reverse hair loss? We all know it as a weight loss injection, but what if lowering body fat and reducing sugar's impact on your body actually could improve your scalp and your follicles and maybe even your hair density? That is exactly what I am testing on myself at the moment. And while most people know about semaglutide, I'm actually using something way stronger, retatrutide. I'll tell you why later. But first, let's talk about what the science says about GLP-1 agonist, body fat and hair loss. For years, we've been told that hair loss is all about DHT and genetics. And yes, that is a very big part of it. But there's something else that's been overlooked: the role of obesity, sugar, and chronic inflammation. Think about it. We live in a world where candy, sugar, and processed foods are everywhere. The constant metabolic stress doesn't just affect your waistline, it changes your hormones, your circulation, and even your scalp environment. So today, I'm going to explore a bit whether weight loss drugs like semaglutide and more broadly GLP-1 agonist can be a missing piece in the hair loss puzzle. Let's start with the connection between body fat and hair loss. When body fat gets too high, say 25, 30% or even more, this is where I'm at the moment, unfortunately, the body enters a state of chronic low-grade inflammation. Markers like CRP and interleukins rise. This inflammation affects blood vessels, growth factors, and yes, your hair follicles. If we take a look at this study from 2021 from Morinaga, it showed that in mice, obesity depleted hair follicle stem cells through oxidative stress and inflammation. Basically, the stem cell lost the ability to regenerate hair. Another paper by Mirani in 2014 highlighted how obesity alters the folliculosebaceous unit in the skin. This is disrupting the environment that hair follicles depend on to live. And as always, if you're interested, there's links for every study in the description, so just go there and take a look. So it is not a stretch to say that excess fat can worsen miniaturisation and blunt the effect of treatments like, for example, minoxidil or finasteride or even RU58841. Here's the truth. Excess body fat and sugar cravings often go hand in hand, and both of them makes hair loss worse. When you carry too much body fat, your body is in constant state of low-grade inflammation, as we just talked about earlier. Adipose tissue, especially belly fat, pumps out inflammatory cytokines. And these don't just affect your heart and your liver, they also weaken your scalp environment, making follicles more vulnerable to shrinking due to the DHT. Now, if we then add sugar into the mix, frequent sugar spikes drive insulin resistance, which then further increases inflammation and worsens androgen activity at the follicle. Fat is fueling inflammation from one side and sugar from the other, and together they accelerate the very process we are trying to slow down, androgenic alopecia. So if you really want to give your hair the best chance, you need to address both, reducing excess fat and cutting down sugar. This is where medications like semaglutide, and in my case retatrutide, make such a difference. GLP-1 agonists reduce appetite, but more importantly, they shift your biology. They lower overall caloric intake, which then leads to fat loss, and they reduce the cravings for quick carbs and sugar, which then directly cuts down inflammation. In this Step 1 trial published in NEJM in 2021, people using semaglutide lost an average of 15% of their body weight, but also showed measurable reductions in CRP, an inflammation marker, and more recent reviews confirmed GLP-1's improvement of both fat mass and inflammatory status at the same time. That combination, less fat, less sugar-driven inflammation, creates a scalp environment where your other hair treatments can actually work better. Most people, of course, know semaglutide. I'm just testing the retatrutide, a next-generation drug that targets 3 pathways at once: GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon receptors. In trials, it caused up to 24% weight loss in less than 1 year, which is even more than semaglutide. I started around 100 kilos with 31% body fat, and I'm down to 92 kilos at the moment, and my target is around 80 to 85. Why? Because at that level, inflammation should be lower, circulation better, and my other treatments, microneedling, RU58841, scalp massages, finasteride, should just be more effective. This is just stacking the odds in my favor. If DHT is one piece of the puzzle, metabolic health is definitely another one. So what does this mean for you? If you're dealing with androgenic alopecia and carrying excess weight, especially belly fat, it is worth considering that this might be holding you back. You don't necessarily need to use semaglutide. Diet and exercise and caloric control work too. The principle is the same. Lower fat, lower inflammation, healthier scalp environment, and better results. Semaglutide and now retatrutide are just tools. The real goal is to create the healthiest possible conditions for my hair to survive and hopefully regrow at some point. So can semaglutide help reverse hair loss? Indirectly? Probably, but not because it is some kind of magic hair growth drug, but because it tackles the metabolic stress and inflammation that silently make hair loss worse. I'll keep logging my journey, and by December, I'll share whether dropping from 100 kilos towards 80 actually shows up in my hair density and scalp health. In the meantime, if any one of you had tried losing a ton of weight and seen changes in hair density or know about someone else who has, tell us in the comment section. And by the way, if you're really set on restoring hairline, I would recommend watching this video right now.